one of those charges carried the death penalty. So now the death penalty is on the table for Luigi.
Yeah, New York has a death.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode. Please like the video and subscribe. Our target is only 1,000 likes. So Luigi was indicted on Thursday on a federal murder charge in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A required step as prosecutors work to make good on Trump's administration's order to seek the death penalty for what it called a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. Luigi's indictment, returned by a federal grand jury in Manhattan, includes a charge of murder through use of a firearm, which carries the possibility of the death penalty. The indictment, which mirrors a criminal complaint brought after Luigi's arrest last December, also charges him with stalking and a gun offense.
Some lawyers be like, man, this shit ain't nothing.
While we're on all this criminality shit, they added new charges to Luigi, and
federal
one of those charges carried the death penalty. So now the death penalty is on the table for Luigi.
Yeah, New York has a death penalty.
A federal grand jury in New York on Thursday returned a 4-count indictment against alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione that charges him with 2 counts of stalking, firearms offense, and murder through the use of a firearm, a charge that makes him eligible for the death penalty if convicted.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I do think they. Again, I don't think that he did this. I've said this before. Me either. And I also think that it's in their best interest to try to off him.
Yeah.
You don't think that Luigi?
I don't think he was the gunman. I don't think he was the trigger man.
You don't think he was the person under the mask that pulled the trigger on this dude that they have on camera?
Me either.
I'm skeptical too.
Skeptical is different from.
Oh shit!
Skepticism is cool. That's different from. I believe him to be innocent.
Yeah, I believe
which is what y'all are saying.
I believe that.
Why?
They don't believe he's the man. They believe.
I'm asking why.
It's a few things. They talked about how his hotel to where my man got shot at. They have him on camera leaving his hotel at X time. And they said that he would down there had to be an Olympic biker to get to where the murder took place in the amount of time between him leaving the hotel and the time of the shooting, right? So not just that, he would have had to have gotten there, set up, got the right time, got the right angle. It ain't like he jumped off the bike and was like, bow, 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 bow. You get what I'm saying? My man walked by. They showed him being in the cut, walking by, which means he might have been set up there for a half an hour, waiting for this man to walk down that street. I also think it took intimate knowledge to even know that he was going to walk this way down the street as opposed to this way. We talking about Manhattan. He could have came from the left. He could have came from the right. He came behind this man knowing that he was coming down this particular street and shot him in the back of the head or shot him in the back. I think all of that shit was calculated. I also think that you're not smart enough to go from the kill scene. You beat the New York City cameras, which is not easy to do. You got the Central Park. Well,
he didn't beat the New York City cameras
because they saw him going on the bus.
We have the footage that they have is from New York.
I'm talking about after the shooting, right? He got to Central Park, disposed of whatever he disposed of, but you're gonna be dumb enough to have all this shit in your book bag in Pennsylvania, a letter. Didn't he have the same
manifesto?
I think he might have had on the same clothes.
He might have.
Like all of that shit to me don't add up. You didn't take all of these necessary precautions to just be that fucking plumb dumb in another state when you could have went and bought some new clothes.
It just sound like a plant.
It just sound like some bullshit to me. I just think it sounds like bullshit.
And I'm open to being wrong.
I could be wrong though, but
I question shit.
Yeah, and we watch too much shit, and we've seen too many movies and too many documentaries and all of that shit where some of this shit don't tie in. I also talk about this.
So you don't believe the manifesto stuff?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
So wait, so you believe that Luigi had a plan to kill him? He's just not the one to execute it.
I don't know if he had nothing to do with that, period.
Holy shit.
I don't know. I'm not saying it, I could be wrong. I'm just saying I don't know. What I also believe is if you're going to give him I also don't agree with him getting the death penalty. It's a lot of motherfuckers that get killed every single day, and y'all don't give the motherfuckers the death penalty when they kill no black people.
Attorney General Pam Bondi has already signaled her intention to pursue the death penalty in the case, and his lawyers are actively trying to stop. Bondi said in a press release earlier this month that she ordered the death penalty for Mangione to carry out President Trump's agenda to stop violent crime and make America safe again.
Pam
Bondi, yeah.
Have the same exact sentiment about somebody that just got killed in the Bronx? Would she have the same sentiment about a black kid getting killed in Queens?
No, nope.
And so that's my point. So you can't say that this white CEO's life is worth more than another life of some young, small black kid. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You can 100% say that.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can say that.
I agree with you. I disagree with you. You can say that. We can agree.
You can say that.
I know.
We not.
No, I'm saying we can agree to disagree. I don't believe
we're not
saying it.
don't mean you believe it.
Oh, you can say it.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing.
Gotcha. You can say that like
You
that,
can
that
100%
one man's life is not worth
say
more than
that,
somebody else's life.
Think that, believe that. I don't know what the murder of Homeboy did, but we're talking billions and trillions of dollars now. I can imagine there's some people in high places that don't want him around.
Or
That's very,
Luigi?
to me, that's very different than black and brown kids being murdered in the Bronx that these weirdos that run this place don't really give a fuck about.
I know. That's the point I'm making though.
So his lawyer said that.
But you reckon, well, if you're making that point, that means you identify the difference.
No, there's a difference, but when it comes to humanity,
I'm not talking about the value in life.
Yeah,
we
that's what
agree
I'm
there.
talking
But if you recognize the point, then you see the difference.
that point plays into my point too.
Tell me how.
Because he was the CEO of whatever company he was the CEO of, somebody else might not have wanted him around.
Repeat that for me. Somebody else might not.
We've
want-
seen enough shit where
higher
they
up.
gotta get this CEO. They want to remove him for whatever reason. So we'll set a plan in action.
Wasn't he
Take him out.
Wasn't he going to appear before Congress or something in the next couple of days?
I
That
read
was
something
what they
like
said,
that, but I
yeah.
haven't fact checked. So who do y'all think did it?
I think somebody higher up.
Someone powerful did it.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I think.
And got away.
Yeah. They staged it to look the way they look.
And they just picked this kid.
They got their.
So why is he not saying that? Like, there's been plenty of times cameras been on him. Why has he, when they was moving outside, he said,
Yeah, he
His
keeps
lawyer-
chucking up deuces. He
Well,
keeps
his-
saying, yo!
His lawyers might have told him, "Don't say a fucking word." This is like that is
he
part
spoke
of.
outside when they were transferring him. He was yelling outside to the camera.
I know, but
and
that
not
was
once did he say,
that
"I'm
was,
innocent."
That was probably prior to him having a lawyer.
They can make you say you did it.
Wait, and I think one time he did say I'm innocent.
Yeah.
And I think they shut him up in the very beginning.
He said I'm innocent.
Yeah.
He did say, "I'm innocent."
One time, if my memory serves me correct, y'all Google it yourself.
I think he started talking when
I think
they
he
first
said
got
I
out
am
the car.
innocent. Or no, not innocent. Sorry, not guilty. Two different things.
So apparently, that Bondi chick, she made the statements before the federal charges were actually levied. So that is what his defense attorney is filing her motion based off, saying that it improperly prejudiced the grand jury process. And she's asked the judge to preclude the government from seeking the death penalty. And she's also demanded that the government turn over documents and notes that relate to the attorney general's directive.
It's just big money, big time games
Yep.
that, they're way above our understanding and our pay grade. But
Bro, anytime I hear a CEO or something like that, I question. Sorry, that's just where we are. I question that shit.
and I wouldn't be shocked.
All right, I don't have anything else in pod and Law and Order.
Pod
in order.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Pod and
That
Order.
was all I had.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers too? Oh,
Every-
yeah.